Moving on, we're gonna start from the beginning of the Nexpo video. I hope you guys are fine with that. So I gotta re-react at the beginning, the first 5 minutes. I gotta re-react.
15 years old, shot and killed a 17-year-old boy with a revolver.
WXLT-TV, Channel 40, Sarasota, Bradenton.
First stream, love your videos.
Lost
Welcome.
media is a topic that I have been enamored by for years, yet have surprisingly not formally gotten into. The thought of disturbing TV broadcasts, audio and VHS footage that have been lost to time is fascinating, and the links that people go to find them is incredible. So much dark and disturbing content has existed even before the internet.
Dude, puppets in general are creepy, no matter what.
Their search and their stories, because, as it turns out, some of the darkest lost media out there seems to have always existed among us.
Sauce. That's a big sus, chat. Stranger Things, it's called Synthwave. Christian Television Network.
The Christian Television Network.
Nothing bad ever happens when it comes to Christianity or religion as a whole. Nothing bad ever happens. Dance, Shadow. Dance. No. Close enough.
Come and join us for a half hour of fun and games at Joy Junction. Now here's Sheriff Don.
Don't. You better not get your feathers in my coffee.
1980. A show is broadcasting on the Christian Television Network named Joy Junction.
Is it me, or is it that most shows that look like this, these kid shows, like so many of them have some like weird dark history behind it, or like some of the adults are just pedos and stuff like that. It always happens like that.
It's
always kid
public
shows.
access TV, set at the eponymous village and hosted by the town sheriff.
Wait,
Throughout the show's TV, set at the network named Joy Junction.
see if I can catch it.
It's textbook public access TV.
Okay, it just says Joy Junction. All right.
Set at the eponymous village and hosted by the town sheriff. Throughout the show's lifespan, the town residents would join in for educational bits about the Bible, and kids were encouraged to take part in various games.
Because the people on set know
It
they're
seemed
just
to have been pretty
going to be a
successful
lot of
during its
kids and
time,
creepers.
as it was
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, it's anything that has to do with a lot of children is going to bring in pedos. You know what I mean? Like, if you get the opportunity to volunteer to, like, teach a bunch of children about God or something like that, and you're a weirdo, like, they're going to jump at the chance.
was on the air for a few years.
No background check? Dude, it's the 80s. We barely have background checks now.
Bizarrely, nearly every record and archive of this show ever existing have been wiped though, merely leaving us with a handful of surviving re-uploads on YouTube. This has, admittedly, made it difficult to find any further information about Joy Junction, aside from what we can distill from the existing footage. But that's okay, because that's not the main reason we're here anyway.
Hi, everybody. What's happening?
Hey, Ron. Good to see you.
Oh, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting on you. Oh, I'm sorry I got tied up, Marty, but traffic was heavy and the stores were busy.
Dude, he's not even good at being a ventriloquist. Lady, like, he's not even good at it.
You know how it is when you go shopping.
One of the show's cast members was a ventriloquist by the name of Ron, and he was present in nearly every episode, joined by his doll Marty.
Well, they're going to come back. Well, I did come back, didn't I? Yeah. I told you I would come back, didn't I? Yeah. And I'm sorry.
Typically, they'd have a quick conversation about whatever the topic of the day was, and it, at least in the surviving archives, appeared to serve as
Call
a
the number,
bridge
chat.
between two segments of the show. Ron's full name was Ronald Brown, and in the years following the show's eventual end, he'd launch his own puppeteering company out of Florida called Puppets Plus. On his website at puppetsplus.com, we can observe a myriad of their clients, along with the age groups that he was primarily hired for.
Can we just talk about
We can observe
this guy in the corner? Like, what is that, man? This is some demonic being.
a myriad of their clients, along with the age groups that he was primarily hired for. Ages 2 to 5 and 6 to 11. Now, at first glance, this seems par for the course in his profession. Children's entertainment was his forte.
Of course it was.
However, it's when we back up and take a look at Ronald as a person when things begin to sour. You see, throughout the years, Ronald had a strange dynamic with children. For instance, in 1998, he was pulled over for a traffic violation and was found to be in possession of boys' underwear. His excuse was that he used them for his puppets, and
Totally
he was
normal.
eventually let off. Other complaints came throughout.
Dude, like, honestly, even now, I feel like, I mean, it's way different back, not way different, but it's a little bit different back then where people, like, there's so many red flags, but they just continually get away with it. You know what I mean?
Throughout the 2000s about him giving rides to kids in his church van. Unfortunately, police could never do much because there wasn't any explicit crime being committed. It was incredibly strange, but unfortunately not enough to warrant any sort of arrest. Where things
Can't be
really get
arrested
nutty,
for being
though,
sus.
is when we jump to the early 2010s, in which Brown would find himself caught in a web of controversy.
That's the part I hate. Oh, wow. Those are sick. You want to show them?
No.
Why not?
I just don't know how to lace them. Just lace them like regular?
Here, I want to show them. I'll hold one. God dang, these are, look at these things.
I'm gonna feel like a loser.
Oh, that's sick.
I'm gonna look like a loser.
No, you're not. Those are awesome. She's going to be doing some crazy grinds on that half pipe. That's cool as hell. Those are the coolest. I wish I had a pair. Yeah, they're awesome. I'm jealous now, chat. Should I get one? What? Normal conversation.
In May 2012, a man
Guys,
named
this is just a
Michael
normal
Arnett
conversation.
was arrested after a sting operation. He was charged with the production of, and upon searching his
Oh,
home
God.
and computer, they would find chat logs on Yahoo Messenger between he and a person going by the name U.E. Lime. As it turned out, Arnett would produce these images and distribute them to various others online from the username CK3666,
0 to 100, yeah.
Sweet Talker Linda, and Calf Keeper 2.
Normal Xbox chat room. Kind of true. Kind of true.
You'll notice that U.E. Lime was outward about their desires. They expressed interest in cannibalism, torture, sexual assault, and all of it was directed towards
I'm
children.
not pausing. I don't want to
even as
read
young
all
as
of it.
2. The catch here, though, is that U.E. Lime wasn't just a random person. It was Ronald Brown, his secret online alias in which he'd express his fantasy about the kids he surrounded himself with daily. Let me remind you that this was a man whose entire career, entire life, was centered around associating with kids. Someone
As most pedos try to do. That's why I never, not really never, but 90% of the time I don't trust adults who like, you know, what's the word? Like entertain children. Like children entertainers always kind of worry me, you know?
Someone who was at one point on television.
Thank you,
in front of
Ivelina.
thousands. To say that these chat logs were a bad look would be putting it lightly.
Yeah.
And yes, the messages you're saying are straight out of the official case file.
Oh, God. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, that was hard to read. Holy shit.
After corresponding with Yahoo.com, authorities were able to track down Ronald Brown and tie his username to a profile on a necrophilia.
Can't we just like have like a, instead of death row, let's just have like a torture row. You know what I mean? It's like this is like torture people like this. You know, there should be something like that, right? Like someone who does insanely heinous crimes.
A website named cutedeadguys.net. Ronald's profile has been lost.
What? Were deaded dudes balk? Cute dead guys. Ugh.
Time. However, through his own case report, we're able to find details describing it.
Snuff film just for you. Is this like a dark web thing? What the fuck?
On this site, his bio read, I love them young and dead. I enjoy them fresh, but like to see them displayed in their casket too. And a few snippets from his post history. I like the blonde boy. Would love to snuff him. Very hot pics. That boy looks dead. I like that one. I'd love to kill them. It's safe to say that at this point, there was more than enough to warrant an arrest. And
and let me guess. They didn't arrest him.
July 19th of 2012, that notion would finally become a reality.
2012. Took a little bit.
Arrested a Largo man for possessing and conspiring to kidnap a child. They say he was a puppeteer who performed for children in the Bay Area. News Channel 8's Yolanda Fernandez has been following this story for us. She's joining us live tonight from Pinellas County.
Well, Keith, 57-year-old Ron Brown is here in the Pinellas County Jail tonight. Federal investigators say it was his gruesome and very...
The Cute Dead Guys site still exists. It's still up. Is it a dark web thing, or is it just like something you could just go to right now if you wanted to?
Graphic online chats with...
Okay, please don't go to it. That's all I'll say. No, it's right there? Oh, God. It's a surface website.
Brown's house was raided, and scattered across his home were images of pictures of kids being tied up, and even some that appeared to be dead. Furthermore, agents found CDs with much of the same material, a blow-up sex doll dressed in boys' clothes, a journal he kept about his fantasies dating back to 1978,
Dear
and even
God.
books about serial killers and cannibalism.
Just like, okay, people like this, does anyone just ever have a red flag? Like, I don't know. Maybe the serial killer books and journal about his fantasies like would be a red flag like a long time ago. I don't know. Like, does he just not have contact with other people or something? I guess he keeps it pretty hidden, but what the fuck?
He was eventually found guilty of possession of and was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison with a lifetime of supervision thereafter. Had he lived out his full
Only 20
sentence,
years?
he would be out sometime in 2033. However, as of August of 2020, it's reported that he is now deceased. My heart goes out to the children who had to suffer for the pleasure of this
What happened? How did he die?
monster and all of those who associated with him. For his entire life, he was calculated and knew what he was doing. His career, his church fan favors, his company parties, all a front for some of the darkest desires imaginable. In
The other
hindsight,
inmates probably killed him. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I have heard that these guys do not do well in jail. Like most people in jail end up beating the shit out of them or even killing them. That site is real. Don't go to it. Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah. It was probably natural causes. God, I hope not. God, see what I'm talking about? Like shit like this. I wish there was some sort of torture thing, man. I don't know. I always feel like people like this never get what they deserve.
I understand why Joy Junction's records were wiped. It was a show with a good premise and good intentions. I won't deny that. However, now bears a reputation forever stained by the devil, hidden within them.
Oh, to get a sponsor. Is this actually like a...
Before we continue, just a couple quick announcements. First off, I'd like to formally announce my second channel, called Nexpo After Hours.
Dude, that's awesome. Dude, I love that editing, man. Like that like classic old television editing.
Here,
the analog.
I aim to bring you guys analytical videos about smaller web series and horror video games. Currently, I have an upload about a smaller creepy web series, and I'll be dropping the next one in about 5 minutes from now. So if you're into that sort of thing, I welcome you with open arms. It's a big creative outlet for me, and we're gonna have some fun.
Hell yeah.
If you're not, however, no sweat. We still got the big projects on main. Second, new merch is now available at crowdmade.com/collection/Nexpo. Progress cuts of upcoming projects. Of course, it's...
Oh, you got a Patreon? Smart. I'll tell you this, chat. Those channels who only upload like once every 2 to 3 months like he does, support him on Patreon. Like, making videos this, like, what's the word? Detailed and edited. Yeah, support their Patreon. I even do, just because it's like I understand how much work goes into that, and they don't make a lot of money compared to people who, you know, upload way more. Yeah, you can tell he puts a shitload of work into his videos. Dolores Costello. Noah's Ark
is 1928. Is
this a Christian thing again?
Disaster film about Noah's Ark hits theaters. Directed by a man named Michael Curtis, it premieres during a transitional period between silent movies and talkies, or films with actual spoken dialogue. Because of this, it's mostly regarded as a hybrid film with long scenes being played over music, and with it comes a healthy dose of extensive criticism. Most of the backlash is due to its runtime, clocking in at a whopping 2 hours and 15 minutes long, with considerable portions containing awkward dialogue and drawn-out scenes. Sitting through this movie is, to put it lightly, a considerable undertaking. Because of this, the film is pulled for revision, and the cut content is never shown again.
Sus.
A good portion of the cut footage came from what the movie is mostly known for today, and that's the flood scene.
Average Marvel movie runtime.
In it, we can observe a slew of actors fighting their way out of a crumbling temple and towards the Ark to stay alive. It's a grandiose set with a lot going on, and keeping in mind the time period, all of this was pulled off with practical effects.
Oh no.
These people were, legitimately, submerged.
I assume some people died. Is that what this is? Yeah, people died for sure. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Some might consider the acting here to be pretty well done.
It's not acting.
Like I said, this scene is grand, and due to the time period, was all pulled off practically. The thing is, some of these actors weren't actually acting, as during this scene, 3 actors drowned and 1 reportedly lost their leg. This was the result of over 600,000 gallons of water being dumped across the set, something that the
Oh my God.
film's extras were reportedly unaware of. It's been reported that, before filming commenced, Michael Curtiz was warned against putting so many people in danger. However, he shrugged it off, claiming that the extras were expected to be prepared for anything, and that, quote, they're just gonna have to take their chances.
Dear
In the
Lord.
original cut of the movie, it's rumored that you could see these deaths happen on screen with a much more fleshed out flood scene. However, since the revisions, that original version is forever considered lost.
How do you have access to 600,000 gallons of water? Movie budgets, man. Movie budgets are absolutely insane, even in 1928.
It's rumored that Curtiz was in pursuit of relentless perfection. He wanted this movie to be grand and authentic. However, in this chase came a loss of life that did not need to happen, leaving Noah's Ark forever stained with an enduring legacy
That's awful.
of tragedy.
Searching for a website, a window to the world, got to get online.
Take a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the internet.
Unnerving music. I'm unnerved. Any unnerved? You guys unnerved?
On the 2nd of July 2014, an ad was made on Craigslist.
Oh God, dude, you don't even have to say anymore. That's it. Just end it. Like that's the video. An ad was on Craigslist. Boom. Video over. Like that's all you have to do. Like anything on Craigslist is just awful.
It came from an 18-year-old girl named Brooke Slocum and was but a simple request.
Actually, no joke, chat. I was an idiot when I was younger. When me and my wife got our first rental house, I bought a washer and dryer on Craigslist, and I went to go get it myself, by myself, as like I was like 18, but still. And I met the dude at his property. Chat, I know it sounds very dumb. In hindsight, very dumb, and it gets even dumber. So, my mom thought of the idea of it was like $500 for the washer and dryer, and my mom was like, "Well, if you go there with 400, and then just say that that's all the money you have, then yeah, he'll probably just accept the deal." And I was like, that's a good idea. Yeah, save some money. Negotiations, stuff like that. How am I not dead? I have no idea. So I went to his house, and I was carrying a trailer. And his driveway is very narrow, and it has a drop off on each side. So when I was trying to pull in the trailer, my trailer like fell to the side a little bit. So he had to come out himself and help me push, the trailer back onto the road and then pull up. So after him helping me do that, I'm like, "Hey, I only have $400. I know we agreed on $500, and I'm not going to lie, chat. I thought I was going to die right there." He gave me the dirtiest look imaginable. Straight up, I thought I was going to die. He gave me cuz he's like, "I just helped you pull out your trailer, and you're not even going to pay the amount that we agreed on." Yeah, I know. It's stupid as hell. Like, insanely stupid. Your mom set you up. It was her idea, man. I don't know. So I told him, I was like, hey, tell you what, I'll give you an extra 150 when I get back home. I know it's like something where you got to trust me, but I promise I'll do it because you helped me, you know, get my trailer out. So I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna give it. So reluctantly, he's like, okay. And I made it out alive, obviously, because I'm not dead. But yeah, don't use Craigslist. Don't. It's just, if you're using Craigslist, meet someone in like the middle of a Walmart parking lot or something. Probably the best thing you can do. It's so fucking dumb, dude. It's so dumb. I could be a ghost. I think there was one other time I did Craigslist and it was for a laptop. And then the dude gave me a broken laptop. So that was great. Anyway, moving on.
I need $50 by 3:30 p.m. today. I can pay you back later tonight, but I need gas and some mess quick. Everyone has bronchitis at my house and I do not want to get sick. I'm 8 months pregnant and my lungs are all squished as is. If you could help, me and my daughter will greatly appreciate it.
What? Huh? What does that even mean? Who does? Do people just ask for money?
Untouched. For 10 days.
Well, yeah. Who the hell would care? Squished? I guess squished. Did they die or something? Uh-oh.
At 10:08 p.m. on the night of July 12th, Slocum receives an email from a man going by the name Mike's Hard.
You never trust a guy named Mike's Hard. You never trust a guy named Mike's Hard. You never trust a guy named Mike's Hard. Are you kidding me?
I can host. What are you thinking? I'm 25. This was a reply to other separate ads that Brooke made around the same time period in which she would solicit sex for money. According to her friends, it wasn't willingly, as her then boyfriend, 25-year-old Charles Oppenir, would coerce her to do this while accompanying her during these meetups.
Wait, what?
Reluctant, Slocum responds 20 minutes later.
Well, we're looking for donations if possible. Kinda in a tight spot, and we have a baby on the way. As far as the fund goes, though, there won't be any mail.
Oh,
How does $120 sound? I can drive you over here if you need.
No, we can travel, just can't host is all. When and where would you like to meet up?
I like to fuck outside in a park around 11:30. That okay?
Imagine, like, what is, this is so weird, man. This is like a business transaction. Yes, can we schedule your appointment around 11:30 at the park, and then we can do it? What is this?
I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble for indecent exposure or anything. I can't go to jail being 8 months pregnant.
It's cop-free. It's a park, but behind it there are lots of woods. No cops at all.
Oh, dude. She's gonna die. Like, that's it. She's gonna die.
This last email arrived at 10:59 p.m. And as we can see, Mike's Hard was keen on meeting that same night. Needless to say, Slocum ended up accepting, and their trip to Gazon Park in Wyoming, Michigan was on.
No cops, smile. What? Is that him?
It's midnight.
Who's that? Cricket chirps?
The couple arrives, with Mike pulling up shortly after. Initially believing this to be another sex meetup, The two approach Mike without much concern. Sometime during the next few minutes, Brooke is grabbed, bound, and shoved into the trunk of Mike's car.
Thank you, Link is bad. Someone put one of my high schools on Craigslist as a senior prank. It didn't get to walk graduation. Put their high school on Craigslist as a senior prank? Why would you not get to walk? That's such a dumb... What?
In haste, Charles tries to help. However, is unsuccessful, resulting in a violent altercation between the two. It's unclear how long this fight lasted. However, what is certain is that during this, Charles was violently killed. Mike drags his body near the woods, saws his head off, and covers the remains with sticks. And without so much of a single witness, he jumps in his car and, alongside Charles' head and Brooke Slocum stowed behind him, drives off into the night.
Yeah, Craigslist. Don't do it. It's not worth it. He kept the head? Well, of course, for a memento. Normal? Dude, he got like a whole cast of people for this shit.
That Oppenheimer's car had not moved in days, police began probing on his whereabouts. When asked, his parents drummed up nothing. His work, nothing. No one knew where he was, but his car was there. And so they began searching the park on July 17th, 5 days after the incident with Mike's Hard. Upon scouring the wooded area that lined its back end, they then discover a headless body under some brush. And it was later identified as Charles Oppenheimer. In the coming hours, it was realized that...
I mean, to be fair, like he was soliciting his girlfriend for money, like basically making her have sex with people for money. So on Craigslist. So it's like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? It's just one of those situations where it's like, it's going to happen. You know, like you're going to get murdered. If you're like way of getting extra money is soliciting your girlfriend for sex on Craigslist, you're going to get murdered. Like there's no other way. Like you're just going to die.
Oppenheimer wasn't single, and his girlfriend too was missing.
Yeah, I feel bad for the girl.
Authorities obtain a search warrant for her apartment and begin searching her laptop. On it, there were a myriad of conversations. However, one thread from Mike's Hard stood out among the rest. The Internet Crimes Against Children Unit was called in for analysis on the real name behind the alias, and they found that this address was tied to another email which was tied to a Facebook for a man not named Mike, but Brady Ostrike.
Dramatic music.
They stake out near his home while they await a search warrant. There wasn't enough evidence for an arrest warrant by this point, so that was a frustrating roadblock. The hours tick by without much happening. However, around 9 p.m. on the night of July 17th, Brady would be spotted jumping into his car and leaving his home. A few moments later, he's stopped by a nearby officer. Before they could get to him, though, he takes off, leading to a grueling pursuit.
So that dude earlier on that we saw in his house with the gun and shit, I assume that was him?
Eventually, he loses control and crashes into a cement barrier.
Ha! What an idiot.
As the officers pull up for apprehension, however, he on the head and falls.
Oh my, why? God damn it, dude. No justice. I hate these people so fucking much, dude. They do the most heinous shit, and whenever they get caught, they just boom.
Forth to his death. A few seconds later, police approach and search his vehicle. In it was 31-year-old Brady Ostrike, dead in the front seat. And in the trunk, stuffed within a suitcase, was 18-year-old Brooke Slocum and her unborn daughter, both of whom were deceased. Upon searching Ostrike's home shortly after, they discovered a plethora of ropes, knives, swords, cages, straps, and bizarre writings that make little to no sense at all. His toilet was inoperable, and the entire place was nothing short of rancid. Most interesting of all, however, was the discovery of cameras. As it turned out, he had them all over his home so he could document his actions.
Of course he did.
What you're seeing here is Ostrike as he prepares the basement he kept Slocum in for those agonizing 5 days.
Of course he did.
Now, there exists footage of Brady Ostrike's grueling torture of Brooke Slocum. However, you'll never see it. The police department has gone on record to say that they will never release it, however describe it as something straight out of a nightmare. During the time Slocum was captive, and even when police were right outside the home, she was locked in handcuffs with a chain around her neck.
Oh my god.
Reportedly, Ostrike had bound her arms to the ropes hanging from the ceiling and left her dangling while he sexually assaulted and tortured her before strangling her to death. All of this was captured on film.
Dear God.
Years later, Oppenhier's head was found off some back roads.
Hey, yo, this don't sound like his first crime? Yeah,
miles
doesn't seem like it.
Park. It's a chilling end to a disturbing online saga and really drives home the fact that you really don't know who it is you're meeting with on Craigslist, dating apps, OfferUp, what have you, until you actually come face to face. What began as a simple request for just $50 had led to the loss of 3 lives following a days-long nightmare orchestrated by a depraved man. The torture footage is, as of 2022, considered indefinite lost media that may never see the light of day.
I really hope it never sees the light of day.
However, considering what exactly it entails, I don't think we'd really want it to.
Yeah. Why are humans so terrible? Dude, this is again why I always say I love animals way more than humans, because humans suck. Humans are the most like deplorable, disgusting things, man. Don't use Craigslist, period. True. True.
Coast is the one. Coast Federal.
Win Armstrong for Coast Federal.
Why do humans exist? Good point.
WXLT-TV, channel
We'll go with
40,
chat. We'll go
Sarasota.
extinct at some point, okay? Are we like the only like creatures that torture stuff? You know what I mean? Like, is there any other animals that torture? Killer whales do? Cats? True. Dolphins do? Well, I guess that makes sense. Dolphins are really smart. Let me look it up. Do non-human animals torture other animals? I'm actually curious now. You define it as causing harm with forethought and malice. I don't know that you could really say any animal torture another. We don't really know. That being said, chimpanzees regularly engage in infanticide and male group raids. Many occasions where these aggressive behaviors are not related to food or mating like they conventionally would appear to. I mean, monkeys make sense. Orangutans, chimpanzees, so monkeys. That makes sense. So basically just any animal that's really smart. It's ironic. The smarter the creature, the more cruel they are. True. True.
The year is 1972, and a reporter named Christine Chubbuck eagerly lands a job at WXLT Channel 40 in Sarasota, Florida. Initially hired as a reporter, she was reassigned to a spot named Suncoast Digest, a local affairs segment that ran at 9 a.m. every Saturday. During her time there, she'd become attracted to a fellow reporter named George Ryan and would seek his attention by baking him cakes and expressing a desire to hang out. When she realized that he was already romantically involved with another coworker, however, it was detrimental to her self-image, as Christine historically had difficulty finding love.
Okay.
According to her family, she'd go on dates with various...
Who's going to go crazy? Is it her that's going to go crazy, or the guy that's going to go crazy? Like, it's one of the three is going to go crazy and kill someone.
Men throughout the years, however, had trouble connecting socially with them. On top of this, by 1973,
you think it's going to be her?
Underwent surgery to have one of her ovaries removed. And as a result, her doctors began to pressure her, claiming that if she wasn't able to conceive within 2 to 3 years thereafter, she may never be able to.
Oh, I see. I see what's happening.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Super spy Fred Flintstone is off on the trail of the mysterious green goose, a master of deception.
Tonight we begin with the death of a man armed with scissors. He was shot by
Okay, that's a transition.
Police 24 times.
Do something. Get him to do something about the problem. Meantime, they say they're going to back the leafleting up with a meeting this Friday with city and state officials.
Good evening. More than 100 people were reported dead in a plane crash near New York's Kennedy Airport this afternoon.
Okay.
The plane was an Eastern Airlines 727.
Depression.
As 1974 approached, Chubbuck witnessed a shift in news methodology. Christine always had a desire to pursue what she believed to be high-impact stories about issues affecting the community. However, WXLT executives were leaning more towards stories that were juicier, per se, utilizing fear and sensationalism to drive viewership, in turn generating
classic news.
The news she was tasked with reporting began to shift further and further towards spectacle and shock, and she frequently rallied against this to no avail. Resultingly, she became stuck in a mindset, in a world that she was growing to hate. Her professional life, her personal life, everything around her.
Ominous.
Good evening, I am Steve Newman, and this is Channel 40 Weather Watch. It's going to be even cooler tonight than tomorrow night than tonight. The reason for this, with the passage of the cold front today, when we picked up some showers, skies have cleared very nicely. And as a result...
On the 15th of July, 1974, Christine enthusiastically entered the station. Instead of opening Suncoast Digest traditionally, however, she claimed that there was a newscast she had to read to open it, something that hadn't been done hitherto. She takes her seat at the news desk, and for the first 8 minutes, opens her segment about 3 national news stories and a shooting that took place the day prior. Following this, a film reel of the shooting was supposed to play, but had jammed, leaving a few moments of dead air. In response, Christine apologized for the error before taking out a script she had handwritten and reading to the viewers the following.
Oh no. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. All right. Nah, don't. It's bad. Okay. If you guys don't want to hear it, mute it. Okay. That's all I'll say. We stuck through this video. We're going to get all the way through it. If you don't want to hear it, mute now. Okay. And whenever it reaches the 3302, then you can unmute it. Okay. There we go.
Adding substantially to those statistics. This weekend, being typical of the recent rash of violence, saw one man stabbed, another assaulted, and a third shot and wounded. Sarasota police report the finding of an 18-year-old, a man by the name of David Wynn, in the parking lot of a friendly tavern on 27th Street. Wynn had an apparent stab wound in the chest, which, according to witnesses, was inflicted by James Whitworth during a fight. Police charged Whitworth with aggravated assault. Wynn is in satisfactory condition at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. The second attempted armed robbery in a week has involved law enforcement officers from both Sarasota and Manatee counties. Last week, teenage gunmen held up the highway bar and, after a shootout and high-speed automobile chase, held a family hostage and finally were nabbed by Sarasota Sheriff's deputies. Early Sunday morning, the Beef and Bottle restaurant north of Sarasota Bradenton Airport on US 41 was the site of an attempted armed robbery and shooting. TV40 newsman Bob Peterson was on the scene shortly after it began, and he filed this report. Sorry, for those of you who saw Late Night Weekend News Watch last night, we did have a film report and a commentary by Bob Peterson. Unfortunately, we had technical difficulties and cannot bring it to you now. However, News Watch tonight at 5:30, and we will have that story for you then. As of this morning, Grace Foster, who was shot in that incident, is in satisfactory condition at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. In keeping with the WXLT practice of presenting the most immediate and complete reports of local blood and guts news, TV40 presents what is believed to be a television first. In living color, exclusive coverage of an attempted suicide.
At this moment, Christine drew a Smith & Wesson revolver that she had hidden in her bag, placed it behind her right ear, and fired, immediately falling forward onto her desk. In a frantic response, the tech directors quickly faded the broadcast to black and scrambled to play a movie thereafter. Calls began to flood in, with viewers questioning the authenticity of what
that was a quick jump to 1,000. I was wondering, because throughout I was just like, oh, okay, it's regular news reporting. Dear Lord.
Just witnessed, with some believing that this was just a morbid joke or a prank. However, it was far from it. She was rushed to Sarasota Hospital, and back at the station, the news director, Mike Simmons, had discovered 2 pages of a script left behind by her. The first page contained what we heard prior, however the second was a follow-up intended to be read by a third party. Today, Christine Chibuk during a live broadcast. She was rushed to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she remains in critical condition. Surprisingly, Christine's prediction turned out to be correct. Not only because she was at that very hospital, but because she remained in critical condition for 14 hours until her eventual death.
I was about to say.
Christine's body was cremated and spread in the Gulf of Mexico, marking the end of a life full of despair. To those around her and to her loved ones, however, an agonizing void was left that would forever go unfilled. Reportedly, only one tape of this incident existed and was kept by Bob Nelson, the station's owner. After his death, his wife Molly would inherit it before handing it over to a law firm for good. As of now, this is where it lies, and for the foreseeable future, may never see the light of day.
Again, I hope it doesn't. How did she not insta-die, though? There's a lot of... I don't know. I mean, it was like behind her ear? I would imagine it would. God, that's terrible. What's fucked is that this has happened before. I've seen the one of, like, the cameraman shooting the news reporter, but that's the only one I've seen. I didn't know if there's anything like that. That would be terrifying to see that live, though. I thought they said gut. Yeah, she said blood and guts news. Because I think she was like talking about how she kept having to report really messed up news stuff.
We will return after these messages.
Good morning.
To preface this last entry, I'd like to state from the outset that the following could be absolutely nothing. The answer could be completely mundane. However, the footage in this section has personally stood out to me because of how bizarrely out of place it is and how little info there is about it. I was gonna put it in the next disturbing things. However, I think it fits better here. Let us begin.
I didn't like that
It's
title.
the
Me neither.
1980s. Beetlejuice makes its debut. Journey, Survivor, Guns N' Roses, and our favorite Rick Astley are on the airwaves. And over on a stand-up comedy show named An Evening at the Improv, a child actor turned musician named Corey Feldman is world premiering his latest track, Something in Your Eyes.
Wait.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start the show off
Why does this look familiar? Have I seen this?
tonight a bit differently than usual. What I'm going to do is I'm going to world premiere my song that I just finished writing and producing with Michael Damian for my new movie, Dream a Little Dream, with Jason Robards. It's called Something in Your Eyes. I'm going to do it right now.
He's doing Michael Jackson.
As we can see, he had a mixed reaction from the audience. Clearly lip-syncing and taking inspiration from Michael Jackson, he employs dance moves in a musical style that attempts to emulate them. Upon looking through comments about him on YouTube, it's clear that history hasn't exactly been kind to Feldman. But that's beside the point. The reason I bring this video up in the first place is because, towards the song's end, Feldman's producer makes an incredibly strange cutaway to something that is very out of place for a video like this. Have a look.
You shouldn't have let it go. You should have held on. Stop running away.
What is this? And why is it here? Nowhere in this song does Feldman make any sort of mention about a woman being bound to a pool table. And after performing a cursory scan of his other music videos, cutaways like this never happen again. This seems eerily out of place, and discussion about this is painstakingly few and far between. The only mentions I could find about it were from Reddit and a few YouTube comments.
I feel like I've seen that Corey Feldman video, but I don't remember that at all.
However, none of them garnered much attention, and their sources are pretty much non-existent. With that being said, let's circle back to the footage so we can break it down ourselves.
I don't want to.
As we can see, the video of this woman was patched in post-production. Unlike the other cutaways that happened prior, this one has a different border. It's in black and white, and seems to be slightly lower quality than his music video. In the footage, we have a woman with brown or black hair tied up on each corner of the pool table, is in what appears to be a small room with a swinging light above her, and seems to be moving because of discomfort. To me, this footage could be one of three things. Either it's a scene from an obscure movie, a cut of a film, or it could be from a legitimate film. Personally, I believe it's one of the first.
I feel like they would have been, like, someone would have been able to know, like, find that out, though, right?
Two. given how obvious this cutaway is on something that's been seen by hundreds, if not thousands, of people. If this were truly as sinister as it's been rumored, it would be a pretty stupid move to put it there. Regardless, this cutaway is one of the weirdest edits I have ever seen, and I'm still struggling to drum up a reason as to why it's there in the first place. I'm curious if you know anything about this, if you've seen it before, if you've heard about
Comments?
it, anything. This is a weird little mystery, and this is where I'm calling for your help. Who is the woman on the table?
Think of all the videos you would need to watch to find it. No, I mean, like, I feel like someone who's already seen that video would be able to pick it out and be like, oh, that's, you know, they found it already? Wait, did they really? How do you know? Think he was watching porn, but by mistake aired it? No. Has anyone from 1965 called Satan's Bed from 1965? Oh, is that really what it is? Oh, 1965. The woman is an unknown and younger Yoko Ono. Was made by Michael, blah, blah, blah. Still really weird why he put it there. So weird, man.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.